I am going to talk about how to declare your municipal tax and prefectural tax. This procedure is easily done by sending documents by post. Prepare all the necessary documents and put them in a return envelope, then post it. This declaration becomes an ascertaining material for providing administrative services. Even when you had no income in the previous year, you need to declare that state. If you fail to make declaration, correct amount of national health insurance tax you are obliged to pay cannot be properly calculated. Also, your request of visa renewal and other applications will be hampered. Note that you have to make declaration each year, because the previous year's declaration data will not be taken over to the following year. Prepare documents A, B, C before making declaration. Documents A and B are indispensable. However, submission of document C is not required if you are not applied to this. Let us get into more detail from the next page. From this page, let us see how to fill in declaration form. If you have a declaration form with you now, put it on the desk and proceed with your own form. First, please look at a section marked as individual and boxed with red line. We have enlarged it on the right-hand side. Be sure to fill in portions from 1 to 5. In case you find it difficult to fill in year section with traditional Japanese calendar, it is possible to use Anno Domini, such as year 1970, month 1, date 1. Next, let us know your dependent. Fill in the section with your dependents boxed with red line. Look at an enlarged copy on the right. If you were financially supporting spouse and other family members, tax deduction for dependents is applicable. If dependents live abroad, following 2 documents are required. No documents required for family members or relatives currently living together in Japan. In that case, just fill in with each name and date of birth. Necessary document 1 is document that prove relationship by blood and marriage. Obtain the document from public organization of each country and have them translated into Japanese. So with documents that prove relationship with you, such as birth certificate, marriage certificate. Necessary document 2 is remittance certificate. Prepare remittance certificate which proves your money transfer to dependent during the previous year of declaration. In case you had more than one dependent, you need to prepare certificate for each dependent. Of course, that includes every minor age children. For example, if you send money to your father in your country, then your father shared the money with other relatives. The only certificate you can have is the one that proves your remittance to your father. In this case, the number of dependents you can declare is 1. In accordance with a revision of the taxation system, requirements for registering dependent living abroad will be added to the conventional ones from the year 2024. A dependent aged 30 to 69 living abroad must submit a certificate of international remittance of 380,000 yen and more sent from the taxpayer in Japan. However, no need to submit the certificate above if a dependent became a non-resident due to study abroad, or a dependent is a disabled person. You cannot apply for tax deduction for dependents without the above-mentioned documents. This rule, however, may not be applied in cases if you already notified your dependents to your employer or each dependent abroad of yours is already approved by the tax office through your final income tax return declaration. Now, let us check the back page of the form. If you have documents that prove your income, which is detailed in page 9 and 10, you do not need to fill in this section. In that case, please skip this page and proceed to page 8. Only person who had no income in the previous year, or did have income though was not issued any documents are required to fill in this section. Let us check into a section in which person who had no income in the previous year must fill. Please look at the section 5 on the upper left. You need to explain how you made a living with no income. Choose your answer from A to F in the enlarged section, referring interpretations below. Next, We are checking into a section to be filled in by person who did have wage earnings though not given withholding slip. Please look at the section 6. Enter your monthly earning from January to December of the previous year to each corresponding section, and enter the figured out sum in total section. Example shows a case earned 200,000 yen each month from January to June. The total amount reached 1,200,000 yen. Require correct figures using Japanese yen, and please refer to an enlarged picture for digits and units. Do not forget to fill in the name of your working place and other information in section 1 to 3. Leave any unclear portions blank. However, please note that any alteration of figures in this form is not allowed after the submission. Double check before submitted. Make it tick in a square after you have confirmed the contents. As for personal ID, please prepare such picture attached certificate as residence card, my number card, driver's license, or a copy of passport. On this page, we will explain what kind of documents can legally prove your income. This is an example of withholding slip. Prepare the previous year's withholding slip. For example, if you make declaration in year 2023, you need to submit year 2022's withholding slip. Other years' withholding slips are not acceptable. This is an example of payment slip. Prepare every payment slip issued from January to December in the previous year of declaration. However, pay attention to the date of actual payment. If your monthly payment of 200,000 yen for the month of December 2022 is paid on January 15th, in the 2023, this amount cannot be included in the year 2022's declaration. As for this monthly payment for the month of December, 200,000 yen, this will be included in the year 2023's declaration. If you have both withholding slip and payment slips, these payment slips are not required for declaration. Submission of withholding slip is suffice. The amount of social insurance expenses you have paid on national health insurance tax, or private companies' life insurances during the previous year is deductible from your income. To make it deductible, submission of payment certificate is required. Here is a sample of a payment certificate of National Health Insurance Tax. This certificate is issued at National Health Insurance Tax Collection Division, on the 3rd floor of Main Government Building, Kawaguchi Station Side Administrative Services Center, or at each branch office. Lastly, we compiled frequently asked questions. We hope it might be of a little help. Taxation. Tax-exempted certificate are not issued immediately after your application. Normally, if you declared properly and tax payment was done by ordinary collection system, certificate is issued after June 1st. If tax payment was done by special collection system, certificate will be issued after your employer received the notice of determined tax amount of yours. The issuance of certificate will take a week or so for any overdue declaration or declaration made after June 1st. We appreciate your cooperation in making declaration by the due date. Thank you very much for joining us today.